Guys, what is up? Happy Sunday night. Our lives are back. I am so excited. I am Jenna. Thank you for watching Jenna X and spending your Sunday evening right here with me. And tonight I have a very special guest, guys. We are going to bring up none other than Trade Intuition. His name is Joe. He is my new homie, and I am so excited to learn all the things from him. Hey, Joe, how are you doing?
Doing good, Gen X. Doing good. Man, I'm
Well,
excited. I'm excited.
Me too, man. These markets are crazy right now. And of course, we're going to get into it. We're going to check them out. I'm going to pick your brain, have you bring up the Bitcoin chart. Guys, we have so much to cover tonight. And I'm going to kind of be, picking Joe's brain about the indicators and everything he likes to do, his trading strategies. And this is also AMA style. So feel free to hop in that chat, in the live chat. Blow it up. Respectful comments only, please. Otherwise, one of my really awesome mods are going to boot you out of here and put you in the timeout if you're not nice. So don't be naughty, my friends. So we're also going to talk a little bit about a couple headlines, but we'll get into that later. Joe, go ahead, kick it off. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into crypto, what led you to trading, and how did you get here?
All right. So what led me into crypto? I heard about it long time ago. I'm talking like 10 plus years ago, I guess. And at this time, man, I was really into the Bible and, the revelations that said, one currency, and everybody's talking about Bitcoin being the one currency. And I was like, oh no, Bitcoin, no, that's end time stuff. And well, lo and behold, I should have bought because, man, I'd be in a much different place than I am right now. But with that being said, I heard about it again, maybe like 4 years ago. And the first one that I got was, of course, XRP. I heard you're a big fan of XRP, but
you know what? I used to be an XRP maximalist. I'm a recovering XRP maxi. Oh, you know all about that.
Yes. So my first one was XRP, and I did all this research beforehand, and it's going to $4, and some said $20, and I started watching all these videos, and it sounded like a cult because it's the same thing over and over. So I kind of got away from that. I was lucky. I didn't drink the Kool-Aid or nothing like that. So, but I did buy a lot of it. And I was watching a YouTuber, and he said, of course, if a coin's not making you money, then sell it, get into other coins. And I'm happy I did listen because I sold about 80, maybe even 85% of it. Started getting into other coins, started making money. And it was just amazing. So that's how I got into crypto. Now, how I got into trading was joining a trading group. Man, I joined a trading group. Of course, they have we got 80%, 2 days ago. We're up 300% in a week. And so I bought into it, the greed. So I get in, and first day they posted, 20 charts, man. So I'm a registered nurse. And of course, at this time, I'm doing overtime, making a bunch of money. And I get into all those 20 coins. Next day, they post 20 more. I was like, okay. So I put more money in. Next day, they post like 15.
No.
Yes. Next day, they post 15. And I put more. Well, now it wasn't, because now my funds are coming down because I was going hard because I wanted to be a millionaire next week, right? Because of all the stuff every single day, 80%, 30% in 2 hours. And so I learned my lesson because 2 days later, 3 days later, I'm down on all of them, 20, 30%. Man, it was so much money for me. I panic sold. And sure enough, 2, 3, 4 days after that, all of them up from my entry 20, 40, 70, 80%. I was like, man, I said, so that was my lesson on, okay, this is not happening again. I lost way too much money. I'm going to learn how to trade. And that's what I did. I went to websites. I watched a whole bunch of videos. I took notes. For anybody who's starting out, I strongly recommend getting a notebook and taking notes. Taking notes because it's going to help you out tremendously, and I backtested. First, of course, it's hundreds and hundreds of hours. Then it became thousands and thousands of hours. So a bunch of stuff that people teach, I kind of try to debunk it or at least answer the question, why? Why do we do what they're saying? One of the ones that I love debunking is the moving averages. A lot of people teach that the moving average is a magnet, and it's not. Let me know if you've heard that one. Have you
All
heard
right,
that one?
explain. Well, listen, yeah, because in my trading group, and we don't necessarily call it a magnet, but it always comes back to it, right? If we lose the 5, then oh, now we're going on the 15. If we lose that, but it always comes back to it. So
Right.
debunk me. And also, before you
Okay.
debunk me, can you tell us what the name was of that group so we can
Oh no.
avoid it? Oh, come
I
on.
can't.
Throw
I
them
can't.
under the bus.
Actually, I am under a non-disclosure, non-compete with that person. So if I were to say that, it would hurt your
Oh.
business, and I would be more sued. I would be
Okay,
sued. Yeah.
okay, deal. All right, fine. All right. But okay, go ahead. Debunk the moving averages.
Okay. So the way I see moving averages is I consider them the kid or the child. The price action is the adult. A moving average is a lagging indicator. It follows the price action. So as the price action is going up, well, the kid, the moving average, has to follow it. Eventually, what goes up comes down. Same thing, if the price is going down, moving average is coming down too, because it's following it, it's the kid, then what goes down goes up. So it's not a magnet. And that's my personal opinion. Now, what I
But
look
but don't you think
moving,
the
go ahead.
200 SMA is like the most accurate?
Right.
Like,
So I do use the moving averages, but I don't treat it as a magnet. I treat it as an indicator to show me the strength of the move. So if the price action is above, I'm already going into teaching. I hate this. I'm always about teaching. So if the price action is above the 200, that's showing the strength of the move. That's saying that the market for that coin is good. If it's below the 200, then it's bad. You want to wait for it to cross, and again, it's a signal of strength. And that's how I look at the moving averages. I don't treat it as a magnet. I treat it as just the strength of the move. So that's my take on that.
um, okay, so you mentioned that you did tons of back testing. It's crazy because people will just jump in and think that, and they'll win a couple trades. And that's what, hooks them in. And they don't
Right.
realize the thousands of hours that you put into it. Like literally when I started trading, I took it so seriously. I still do. And that's why I'm winning consistently more and more trades. But how many hours do you think that, you put into this? And I know you recommended that you have all these notes and everything, but what are the first basics you think someone should look at?
So the first basics that I teach is support, resistance, trend lines. That's it. Support, resistance, trend lines. Once you get that down, then everything else, you have to build a solid foundation, because if you don't, everything you build on top of it, say you learn Elliott waves, say you learn how to use whatever indicators or whatever, but if you don't have that solid foundation, then everything you build on top of it crumbles, because you're gonna it's not gonna be good. But support, resistance, trend lines, that's the basics. And it's funny too, because people they can relate to all the stuff that I show, because it's so simple. Like trading is only as hard as you make it. It really is. So that's my
Okay,
thought.
so will you show us the indicators that you use and how simple your method is? Because I would love to see you
Mhm.
just break down chart.
Yeah. So guys, give me a chart. Put it in the chat. Put a chart, name of the chart you want me to do, and we'll get that squared away.
Yeah,
Let's see. Do
drop
you want
whatever
to do
you
that
want,
now, or do you
guys.
want to do that towards later, or when do you
We
want to do
can
that?
we'll do that a little bit. So, okay, what kind of trader are you? Are you a day trader, swing trader? Do you leverage spot? What's your jam?
Yeah, I do it all. So I love spot. When the market is boring, and sometimes it is, I'll jump on leverage. And I love leverage. Now, with leverage, though, for anybody thinking about doing leverage, because they see these 172% gains, and, be careful, guys. Be very careful, because as fast as you can win it, you can lose it. Use low leverage. Sometimes I'll see people posting with 20x leverage, 75x leverage, 120. No, be careful, guys. What I recommend is 3x leverage. I know, boring, but it's safe. So what I do is I trade, because I've already done all that. I've granted I haven't been in the game a long time, maybe 4 years. But what I do is I'm really careful because I've already done that wild, in your 20s type, stuff. Now I'm an old man. I want to slowly build my capital, slowly build it. So I do 3x, 5x, sometimes 10. If I get a little crazy, I'll do 20 or 50, but uh, usually it's 3, 5x. But I love spot. Um, for me, I love trading on the 4 hour time frame. That way, my trades usually play out in 3 to 5 days, sometimes 7. If it goes longer than 7, I usually get out of it and I go to another coin. And I don't. So I have a question for you. How many coins do you have as far as the trade goes at one time? And these are like regular
Uh,
trades, not like investments.
all right. So last week I had 13 trades open at the same
Oh my
time
god.
on Mexi. Listen, I gotta
Oh
have
my
every
god.
single one of them in profit. And before we were on the stream, it was funny. I was telling him I literally got out of 2 last week, EGLD and Filecoin that I had been in since the January 3rd dump. I had
Mm,
mitigated them. I was patient. I was down $1,500 at one point on EGLD. I won't take the loss, right? Because I know I'm
right.
eventually, it's not going to zero. I know crypto is not going to zero. So if I have the liquidity and the patience, I'm going to wait it out. Like I know that we're coming into a bull run. And I sat there for a while and I was thinking to myself, what made me get into these positions? They were shit positions we had already pumped. And that's why right now I am in one position and one position only. I close everything on the weekend. Everything's popping, but I'm very cautious on the weekends because we can get scam wicks. Things are crazy. You know what I mean? And Bitcoin did pump a little bit today. So it tells me, hey, it liquidated a bunch of shorts. That tells me it's probably going to dump later. So I'm just very cautious because I want to see if I can get better positions on some of these alts before we really do start popping off. So yeah, I am right now in one and it's an XRP long. And I don't know. I should always short XRP. I don't even know why XRP anymore. But I still have this little fear inside of me. And as stupid as it is, it's always like a small position where I'm like, okay, I'll mitigate it if it comes down really far. But I just still have this fear of that flip the switch moment. And I don't care, you guys can make fun of me, but I'm always going to have a soft long on XRP. It's just how I roll. You never know.
Right.
But okay. So what about you? How many positions do you have? And I'm always a 20x. I'm a 20 to 30x kind
Oh,
of
oh my gosh.
guy.
For me, it's usually 3, maybe 5 trades. If the market says getting really good, then of course I'll keep those trades open, move up my stop loss, and then I might get into another 3 or 5. I think the most that I prefer to do is around 10, maybe 13, but that's only if my other one's already well in profit. So I'm not babysitting them. And when I say babysit, checking, make sure the price action's good, making sure the strength of the move is good. If that's the case, then I just leave them there and just move with my stop loss. But
Right.
I prefer 3 to 5 in and out, few days, boom, done.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can understand that. Okay. So we have one, and I think that this would be a great chart for you to pull up if you don't mind.
Yeah,
One, I want to see your thoughts on Bitcoin, but we can do that after. But Kelly said BLZ USDT pair, and I think this is a great chart to pull up because BLZ pumped like crazy the other day. And when it pumps hard. And I've been pulling a fib on it. I'm like, is it going to come down more? It kind of looks like it's consolidating right now in the smaller time frames. So, I mean, I'm a leverage trader. I don't hold this in spot anymore, though I wish I did.
right. All right. So right now we're looking at let's see, BLZ, and let me get my indicators. Now, of course, for my time frames, it's 950. So my white one is my 9, my 50 is my red, my 200 is my yellow. And make sure I got them on. Okay. All right. So looking at the weekly, I always put my magnet tool on. And right now what I'm doing, once again, support, resistance, trend lines. This is my basic. So right now it was beautiful bowl or rounded bottom. Absolutely gorgeous. We have this really nice support level. And a lot of people use like fancy terms, liquidity zones, everything. It's resistance. That's all it is. For me, anyway. I simplify so much stuff. It's ridiculous. So here's my level. Let's do another level. And okay, and then we'll do another one up here. And of course, I have the magnet tool on. That way, it just snaps in place. I don't need to worry about if I'm getting it exactly. Now, one thing that I do is I go to the candle body closes. For me, that's very important. Candle body closes. Let's go to the daily. Would I enter this trade? No. Why? It pumped. Look how hard it pumped in one day. What's the percentage? I'm always really big on percentages. No, I'd stay away from this one. So 42% on the daily. And so what does that tell me? That tells me that more than likely people are going to take profit. Why? Well, they want to do exactly what you want to do. They want to buy low and sell high. So right now we already see this wick. So because it's coming down already, the people who bought over here and over here and over here, there's, oh man, I want to get my 20%, 15%, whatever it is. Let me just sell it. So more than likely it's going to come down. Let's go to our magnet tool again. Let's go to our fib retracement. And I'll actually use this one. So we're looking, and it's right here. This is our golden pocket. And it's between the 0.5 and the 618. And this is our level right here. And this is right dab smack in the middle of our weekly support. So we'll go to this. So for me, if it does come down to this zone, this would be a really nice entry, but you have to wait for a bounce. And I like to trade on the 4 hour, as I mentioned earlier. And what I'm thinking, let's go to the 4 hour. So it's coming down pretty hard. Let's move this over. All right, so it's coming down pretty hard. Here's our 9 SMA. More than likely, hopefully, it'll find support, if not at least wick there, and hopefully bounce off of the support zone, top of the range, I guess you can call it, and then come up. But I'm pretty sure what might happen, and nobody knows, Gen X and I were talking about this earlier, nobody knows what's going to happen until after the fact. But more than likely, it might come down here, come back up, maybe get rejected, come back, go into our support zone, which is also the fib retracement golden pocket area, and then hopefully find support here, and then do this number. And now I don't trade patterns, but I do see them. That's one thing that I strongly recommend. Learn how other people trade so it can build to your confluence. Right now, even though this is all hypothetical, people would see that this is an inverse head and shoulders. And here's our neckline. And then boom, goes up. Now, the places I would enter if it comes up after this bounce, I would enter 25% or 33% right in this area. And that's because we're seeing a support bounce. We don't know if it's going to continue going up or if it's going to get rejected here and come down. So that's why we're only doing 25%. So if it does come down and we get stopped out, let's say we have stop loss at 15%. Well, we only got stopped out 15% of our, whatever we put, 33% of our total entry. So we wait. And patience is super, super important. So let's come over here. Let's make sure it's to the front, and let's do a clone. My next entry would be if it does come here and start to come up, I'm not entering. Because what could happen once again, it comes up, gets rejected, comes down, comes up, rejection again, continues coming down. So what I want to do is I always trade safe. I'd rather, reduce my risk and increase my profit than try to play it riskier so I can get more gains. So for me, This will be my second entry. And the second entry is because it broke out of this zone again. Then when I would do one more time, I would do the remainder of my entry once it breaks out. Because what it's doing, it's actually breaking these previous highs. Granted, it's not this high, but it's the previous high. And then there's my entry. That's how I would enter this trade. Would I enter right now? No. And
that's super simple.
Very simple, super basic, and that's how I teach. I didn't even use any of the indicators. So to answer your question in reference to my indicators, my top. Hey guys, smash the like button. Smash the like button, guys. Smash the like. Share out the channel. If you're not already subscribed, definitely subscribe, and make sure that notification bell's on. It's going to be crazy, guys. This is going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. My 5 indicators that I love. First one, and this is in the order of importance. Price action. That is my number 1 indicator. Number 2, countdown to bar close, because this tells me when the next bar is going to open. Number 3, moving averages. This shows me the strength of the move. Number 4 is my MACD histogram, because this I can look for divergence. I know how people, they use divergence all the time. With divergence, it could go 0.5% or 55%. Nobody knows how much divergence is going to be, whether it's in a small time frame or a large time frame, because the price action will go in a certain direction until it finds support, and then it'll change direction. So that's number 4, because I know people use this, divergence. Number 5 is my volume. Before, volume used to be my number 1 indicator, but it's moved down the list due to the fact we could have increased volume and decreasing price. What is that telling us? Divergence. However, people might see the price going up, and how many times have you seen it? Where you're looking at a coin, it's up 13%, and the other coins are 5%. So you jump in. So you're adding to the volume. So what happens? Now volume starts picking up. But before, it was down. And the price is supposed to go down because of the divergence, but more people see that coin, more people are coming in. So that's one thing that I learned with volume. Once again, it used to be my number 1. Now it's number 5 because of that reason I just mentioned. Once again, all this is due to thousands and thousands of hours. What I wanted to do when I first started, I wanted to beat the system, just like everybody else. I wanted to beat the system. I wanted to get over on the market. I wanted to go do everything, the indicators, the RSI. Do I buy overbought RSI? Yeah, all the time. Do I, sell doing the, vice versa? All the time. And that's because, and once again, never trust what I say. Always verify. Verify. For example, if we found overbought on the RSI, and I wish I could show you one of them, but normally, and we'll just do it here.
I'll pull one up for you. I'll find one.
Okay. So normally with overbought RSI and price action, and once you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and just draw it out. So this is the price action. Now this is our overbought area. Let's just say it's overbought right here. Now what you'll see is it stays overbought. This will continue going up until it gets a retracement and then come back. Well, now this is the RSI. The RSI, of course, comes down because of, let's say, this part right here. It starts coming down. And then it starts coming up again. RSI cooled off. It starts coming up again. And then now because this came down, now the RSI is coming down. However, it's no longer overbought. But if you look right here, price action is higher than where it was previously when it was overbought. back test that idea, and I guarantee you'll be very surprised.
Yeah,
And
I have a clean visual on that. I want to pull up on BLZ just to like verify what you just said. Hang on. Because I have a really good example of when indicators are wrong. Not to say that they're wrong, but can you see this? Can you see mine?
yes,
All right. So I have BLZ pulled up, and I can also pull up the 4-hour if you like that. But same thing, overbought on the stochastic RSI. But if you come over
exactly.
here, it's still telling you and it's pumping. Like if you look on a smaller time frame, this is when it'll also say, hey, we're overbought. We were overbought back here before
Right.
it even really pumped. And if you would have sold for what, a
Exactly.
couple percent gain, you would have missed this.
Mm-hmm.
So 100% with what you're saying right there.
Mm-hmm. And before, when I was learning, everybody's, oh, you got to sell overbought, you got to buy oversold, and I was doing it, and then I always ask myself, why? Why are they saying this? And I go and I backtest, and I go and I find stuff. It's like, wait a minute, no, like you don't. I buy overbought all the time. Like I said, it's, but you learn this stuff. Like it takes a lot of practice to and backtest the stuff that just the charts. Just look at them and examine. Now, one thing that I do, like any new skill that people teach me or whatever, I always back test it. Use this indicator, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, what does it do and why? And then I go and I just back test and back test. But
Yeah, well, so many indicators just repaint a
yes,
stochastic view. I don't
yeah,
want something that's just going to repaint what's already in front of me. So,
right.
yeah, I totally agree with you on that. We do have a request for one more. If you don't mind
Yeah,
sharing your analysis on one more chart, if you don't mind doing AGIX, we had that one in
okay.
the chat. I saw SHX in there too, but I'm not going to put that up because it's already pumped so much and it's consolidating. It's really not worth putting up. But I like the
So
token.
AGIX.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what it's doing.
All right. So same thing. And since we're on, it depends. And one thing for me, whenever we are in a bear market, I start my charting on the daily. When we're in the bullish market or the start or during a bull market, I start my support resistance on the weekly, just because more than likely the price is going to make greater gains. So that's the reason I'm doing the weekly. So in case any of my people are here, they're like, "Why are you doing the weekly?" Well, I started doing the weekly some time ago. All right, moving on. So let's go to our magnet tool, and all this is just rinse and repeat. I mean, this is like, now we might be able to enter here, but I doubt it. But we'll see though. We'll see. I don't know yet. It depends on the amount of percentages between these. Do I think it's going to come down here? No. And this would have, man, look how beautiful this is. Cup and handle. Boom. Cup, handle, breakout to the moon. So that's really nice. Once again, I don't trade um, patterns, but I mean, I do see them.
I mean, okay, come on. If you're gonna trade a pattern, what are like the top couple patterns that you would trade?
I love cup and handles
Me too.
because all that's showing me is this resistance or the lid was very strong to where now the price action is above it. So that's one of them. Same thing with inverse head and shoulders, because again, the neckline that's showing that it's resistance, resistance, resistance. It finally breaks through, gain support, does the retest. Any so with the patterns, all it is support, resistance, and trend lines. That's all patterns are. But we put a name to them. Now, because we put a name to them, for me personally, I would mentally have a notion that that's what they're supposed to do. 68% chance breaks to the upside. But I have it in my head, 68% chance. Like that's more than 50. So I have better odds that it's going to go up. And what would happen when I'd backtest and backtest and backtest? Yeah, sure. It was 68. And I happen to pick the other percentage to where it would come down. It's like, oh, come on, man. So what I do, support, resistance, trend lines, I don't put a name to them, but I do recommend studying patterns, learning how they work, And same thing with divergence and everything else. That way you know how other people trade. Now, for this one, I like it. It looks strong. Like, even though, like, my first intuition would be, no, it's going to come down. Same thing like the other one, where we do the fib retracement and go from here to here. If it does come down, we're looking right in this zone. Let's go ahead and do this from here to here. And then this would be our area to enter. And this is the golden pocket between the 0.5, 618. However, if you look and see, that's why you have to know the strength of the move. Right now, it looks very, very strong. So what I mean by that, of course, we have all this pump, and we have a bunch of sell pressure that looks like it's coming in. This wick is coming in. So this wick is longer than this wick. So every candle tells a story. Now, candle names, I don't know them. I trade super, super simple, and there's a candle called Abandoned Baby. When I was trying to learn candles and I saw the Abandoned Baby, I was like, man, I'm just going to look at the actual candle itself. And all these candles, they tell a story. So this one tells me that more than likely we should come down. We should. However, we still have, this stage just started, but it's still pumping. So this might go up a little bit more. But, I mean, it would be really healthy for it to come down. Let me see where I would enter at. So, and I'm always looking to the left. Go ahead.
Doesn't that help at all with like stochastic RSI? If you see it start to curve down, especially like on the daily, would you assume that it's in a downtrend, or no, because that can change so quickly?
Well, all the indicators, they're lagging indicators. So if the stochastic is coming down, that's telling me the price action is coming down. But my number one indicator is the price action. So I already know the price is coming down without looking at it on the stochastic. Same thing with the VRVP or VPVR. They changed the name a few years ago. Same thing with the volume profile, visible range volume profile. Same thing with this. This just tells me low volume node. Well, I can pretty see that, when we see this little dump. It's better on different charts, but it's easier to see. Same thing with right here, like the low volume node, but I can see that. I don't need this to show me that there's not a lot of price action. So once again, price action is my number one. All right, moving on. Sorry. Let's see this one.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And it's important because, like you said, price action was one of your strongest indicator.
Mm-hmm. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking to the left, and I'm always looking to the left. What happened here? Price came up. It stopped right here. A few times, kind of wicks. This is on the daily. This area right here, really strong liquidity zone, resistance zone, whatever you want to call it. To me, this is just resistance, and we have a pretty good chance that it's going to come down just because of this right here. Now, could it continue going up? Yes, it sure could. Just because we have people FOMO, like people are buying in because how much is the pump? So let's go change this so you can see my crosshairs. And let's go to this price range tool. Jeez Louise. Man, that's a lot. Could it go more? Yes, it sure could. Me personally, I would wait. Now, see, and this is with me though. You could get into this coin because there's a lot of hype on it, and I'm sure a bunch of people are talking about it, and you can make 40, 50, 80%. However, for me, this one is super. I thought it was like 20%. I haven't even been looking at this one. For me, it's super, super risky, and I'd rather reduce my risk and increase my profits. So with that being said, what the price action might do, nobody knows. Price action might go some more, get rejected here, come down, come up again, maybe get rejected, come down, keep on coming up. Okay, cool. Now, because I can see that it had a sell off, it came up, got sold off again, continuing the strength of the move. We got a double top, and again, that's the thing with patterns, like it's going to come down, and Here's our support, the area is supposed to measure and move. However, now we're starting to create higher lows. So this is showing strength. If it breaks this resistance, man, I'm in. And same thing. I'd enter here, 30% of the breakout, then or 33%, rinse and repeat. Once it bounces off of this area and starts coming up, I enter again. Once it breaks the previous high, guess what I'm doing? I'm closing out, or I'm finishing up my entries. Rinse and repeat. Now that you know how to trade, you will never watch me again, and I'm done. No, I'm playing. But
No,
this is
you
how
guys
it is.
have to follow up and smash that like, guys. It's absolutely free to smash that like. Trader tuition is given as Joe is dropping all of the alpha, like all of the knowledge and all of the basics, guys, and keeping it simple. Like for me on
Super
this
simple.
one, I like things that I feel, they're hitting a bunch of the check marks that I have on my list, and I have to really like the setup now before I enter the trade. I won't kind of do it on a I don't know, but also,
Right.
I feel like it's a little bit harder now going into the bull run because it's like it's tricking you. It's like, hey, I don't think it's supposed to go up this much. And then on the other hand, you're like, oh shit, it's crypto. It could totally
Right.
blast off. And then that takes us into the biggest thing here. We still need to watch what Bitcoin's doing, right? Because if Bitcoin decides to just tank or retrace, then what's going to happen to the alts? What do you think is going to happen?
Right. So I do look at Bitcoin because Bitcoin is a driver. If you don't know that, well, now you do. Bitcoin is a driver. However, with that being said, I look at my coin for my coin because I have my support levels, I have my trend lines, I have my stop loss, which is very important. Always have a stop loss. And sometimes Bitcoin will retrace, and some coins may suffer, 8%, 12%, whatever it is. And if I happen to have my stop loss at 15% and I keep it open, it might find support, and then it might continue going up. And now I'm in profit while everybody got scared and got other coins. So yes, I do look at Bitcoin, but I treat my coin for my coin. Now I have an analogy for that. And same thing, like when people look at total 2, total 3, all that stuff. I have an analogy. I'm real big on stories. So if you go to a car dealership and you want a car that has, 30 miles per gallon, and you go to the car dealership and the salesman comes up to you, he's like, well, the overall gas mileage for the cars is 42 miles per gallon. I say, well, that's cool. I want the one that has 32. I've done all the research and everything. It's the safest or whatever. It looks badass or whatever. Then, well, the overall market cap or the overall total 2 is this price. I don't care about that. What is my coin doing? And that's where I differ from a whole bunch of other people, because they want to know what the whole market's doing. Now, it's good to know what the whole market is doing, but it's not my coin. It's not my vehicle. So I hope that makes sense. Like I'm very particular on my particular coin because I don't care what XRP is doing. I don't care what another coin is doing. How is my coin doing? Because I'm in my trade, and if my trade continues to go up or it goes down, or regardless of Bitcoin or XRP or another coin, like what is my same thing with, let's say, I forget if what's this one, a gaming or AI? I remember doing this a long time ago.
This is AI.
Okay, AI. So let's say the whole AI market is coming down. Everybody's going to gaming or whatever. Well, am I going to exit my coin? No, I'm staying in my coin because my coins give me 80, 85, 90, 120%. Just because the whole market is coming down or going up, like I don't care about that. I'll look at it and I'll, okay, cool, it's going up or going down, but does it affect my specific coin? And if it doesn't, I'm in it. And if it does, I get stopped out. And that's my theory on that.
That's something else I want to ask you. So let's talk about risk management. You are talking about getting stopped out. Do you use obviously stop losses? You recommend using them? What's your strategy for using stop losses?
Yeah, for stop losses, of course, it depends on the person. Stop losses are very tricky. Just trading in general is very tricky. Do you have a lot of money? Do you need this money? So you should never need this money when you're trading. This should be fun money. Let's say you go to dinner and you spend $100 or 200, or concert tickets, and normally you spend a couple hundred. Well, what you do is you use that money as fun money, and so if you lose, well, it doesn't bother you. But you're not using this for an engagement ring or a vacation or whatever. This is fun money, and that, by doing that, it takes away the emotional side of trading. So, and I'm bringing up the emotional side because whenever you put a stop loss, and let's say you put it at 15% or 10%, 5%, whatever percentage you do, but you're putting in a lot of money, and price starts coming down, and it goes to that. Let's say you had it 10%, and it starts coming down to 5%. You're like, man, I'm losing, $1,500, and it comes down to some more. I was like, man, I'm losing like $3,200. Comes out, it's like, man. So what people do is they'll cancel their stop loss and put it lower. And I'm an advocate for stop losses, because stop losses will save your butt. I'm telling you guys, they will save your butt. Now, this all depends on what you're doing and how you're trading. I'll get to that in just a moment. So if this is just a regular trade, you're just trying to be in it 3-5 days, and the prices is coming down, and you keep on moving down your stop loss, just take off your stop loss. Save yourself some time, some effort, some worry. Just take it off. Just wait. Now, if it is just a regular trade, I strongly recommend to have a stop loss, but only what you can afford to lose. So if you can afford to lose 10% of your trade, then put it at 10%. But don't put it at 15%, and then it hits your 50%, and now you're stressing out. You're not eating right. You're not sleeping. Don't do it. Only put your stop loss at what you can afford to lose. If it's too much, then reduce your entry. Instead of putting 10,000, put 500. Instead of putting, 1,000, put in 200. So that's very important. Now, when it comes to stop loss, I was in a trade, and this is a long-term investment. So on that, I did not have a stop loss. As soon as I got in, of course, it looked great. I saw a guy on YouTube talk about the FA, and it was, oh, cool. I'll get into it while I'm thinking about it. And I got in, checked on it about a month later. It was down 20%. I was like, good Lord. And then a month after that, it was down like another 20%. This thing was down for about 3 months, I think. And, 2.5 months. And it went all the way down to almost 50%. But did I worry? Nope. Why? Because the cycle that we're in, the market that we're in, I know the price is going to come up. So if you sell it, then you're at a loss. But you're not
Exactly.
at a loss, right? You're not at a loss until you sell it. Now, the same thing goes for profit. If it's going up 80, 100, 240, but that greed starts kicking in, and you're just holding it and holding it. But this isn't a long-term investment for you. This is just a trade. And then it starts coming down. Well, it's not profit until you sell it. So on this particular coin, right now, I'm happy as can be, because yesterday I checked it and I'm only down 7%. And I'm happy because this is a long-term trade or investment. And like, it can go to negative, 97%. I don't care. If I happen to see it, I'll, throw money at it. But, that's, so there's different ways of trading, different ways of thought process when it comes to stop losses.
Yeah, no, I love that. I'm such a horrible example of anyone to talk to that's like big on risk management, because one, I mean, I make modest position sizes. Like, honestly, I start out smaller with my position sizes just in case they
Right.
really would come against me, because I've had enough scam wicks and dumps to know that, cool, I will
Mm-hmm.
add to it when I feel like I've hit a bottom or something like that. But yeah, I typically don't use them. It's caused me a little bit of grief.
Yeah.
And Joe and I've got ourselves into some holes, and then we've ended up schlonging where we're taking rips of shorts, and we got it long at the same time. But thank God I'm out of those messes. I'm gonna try to reduce those, and it makes you sweat a little bit, but at the same point in time, it's like I know that this token's not going to go to zero, and
Right.
I know the market cycle that we're in. I think that is super important. So I love,
Yes.
your thought process on that. And we have everybody, the chat is blowing up.
Oh
Oh my
yeah.
God, they're so
Keep it
funny.
going, guys. Keep it going. Do those emotions too. I love seeing those hearts and those 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, do
Blow
that,
it,
guys.
blow it up,
But
guys.
there's a lot of
Okay.
alpha here. I love your thought process. And see, this is one thing I love. I love talking to other crypto people who are in crypto and to see your thought process, how you trade, what are your indicators, your risk management, because we all learn from each other. Like once you get to the point to where, like, oh, I know it all. No, that's dangerous. Like for me, I'm a sponge. I'm always trying to learn stuff. Now there are, but for me though, like I just keep it simple. It's like, oh, you use the Elliott waves, it's a 1, 2, 3 ABC, but then it could do this in form of this, and then I was like, I just here's my resistance. Once it breaks that, I'm entering. You know, so that's I just keep it simple.
Right. Keep it simple, stupid. I
Exactly.
love that. And I'm not chasing, it's so hard because people get FOMO and I think nobody is really immune to the FOMO, but once you've been in for so long, you're like,
Right.
okay, you know what? I might have missed that pump, but there are opportunities in the market every single day. You might not have that one, but
Hmm.
you only need a couple really good trades a week. Like, or
Right.
or if you have a really large account, maybe it's a month. And I see Johnny K. He's in the house, and I think he might be popping on a little bit later to say hi. I would love to introduce you to Johnny.
Sweet.
Have you gotten to meet him yet on Good
No,
Morning
not yet. Not
Crypto?
yet.
Oh,
Not yet.
Johnny's awesome. He's such a good guy, and I mean he's crypto maniac as well. So I know he's gonna want to pick your brain as
Oh yeah,
well.
definitely.
But I wanted to pull up and show you. Well, I'd like you to actually kind of tell me your take on where you think Bitcoin is going. And something that I've learned that's pretty cool is I've taken this. It's crazy. You guys are like, what? When I tell you 200x leverage mastery class, but you know that when you're using 200x, you're using a very small margin. But what's
Right.
cool about it is you're learning to stop hunt and find your swing lows, your swing highs, and it allows you to get comfortable with price coming against you and then learning to mitigate. Now, I only recommend doing that with Bitcoin and practicing on demo first, but I've made nice gains on Bitcoin with that. Nothing crazy, but it's really awesome. It's like a safe way to trade Bitcoin, in my opinion, for me.
Yeah.
That's really comfortable, and I've really enjoyed doing that.
Yeah. Bitcoin's the safest because it has a really, really big market cap. So there's not going to be too much crazy fluctuation. I mean, we do see it from time to time, but it's nothing like, a mid cap coin. So, like, that's the safest bet. If you're going to do high leverage, I mean, that's smart. Bitcoin. Yeah. So, as far as my thought process on Bitcoin, um, I was on Piper Academy and we were talking about Bitcoin. And for me, I would love to see Bitcoin coming down to, and but this was a few weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, where I did my February retracement, and it was when this high was here. And of course, we have our golden pocket right in here. Our 200 SMA is on the weekly chart, and I would have loved to see eventually it coming down here. However, well, we created another high, so now this fib retracement is invalid because we need to wait for another pivot. So let me go ahead and delete this. Now, my thought process is using this on the weekly because we're looking at a higher time frame, bigger moves. We have our support zone here. Bitcoin really needs to. I want it to come down. Man, do I want it to come down? I want it to come down so hard. With every time there was a Bitcoin halving, we always had a retracement. But things are changing now, of course, because more people are getting into the market. We have bigger people, whether they're from stocks or wherever, they're getting to the market, and just because of all that, athletes and just everybody is talking about crypto now. Well, not everybody, not yet, but they will be, and so it kind of messes up the history because if everything was the same, history would repeat, but everything's always changing. So I think I would love to see Bitcoin come down to, and these are all levels. If it does come down, it needs to find support right around 43.9. This is a weekly level, and this is our little support zone. If I really hope it comes down lower though, If it does, hopefully it gets rejected at 47 and then continues down to at least 36. I would love to see this. And then go sideways for a little bit and then moon mission. Like this is, the halving will come up and then just moon mission. Now, if we do come down here, man, I don't think it'll go lower than 31 or 30. Some people are calling 20, some people are calling 12 still after all this time. Like, no, don't you learn? Like, it's not going to 12. We already missed that. But if it does come down the absolute lowest, I'm saying 31 to maybe 30. Now, one thing with me though, I do this on support resistance, and I treat every level for its level. So if it breaks this, okay, this is our next level. If it breaks above it, okay, this is our next level. If it breaks over this level, this is our next level. It's always level per level for me. And that's how I see this. So it's just wait and see what happens. But hopefully it'll come down to 36. The lowest maybe 31. That's my thoughts.
Thank you for sharing that. Hey, what's up? We got Johnny K in the house. How's
Johnny
it going,
K.
Johnny?
Good evening, guys. How you doing? How is everybody?
Everybody's good. Good.
Oh,
Yes.
man, fabulous. Trade Intuition. Joe's giving us the rundown. He's breaking down the chart, showing us how simple it can be and, his strategies and everything. So absolutely loving it.
Well, Trade Intuition, Joe, thank you for sharing your insights. It was awesome to
Definitely.
to be out here listening and watching and learning. And I am super excited to hear you say that there is still a chance for Bitcoin to pull back into the 30s.
I want it, man.
I want it so bad too. Give me one more last chance at that bitch. I'm praying. So let me ask you a question, Joe, for all our viewers out there. Well, first of all, hello, Jenna. How you doing? Good to see you, sweetie. What do you think, Joe? What are the chances, probability-wise, with the halving coming up soon? Bitcoin ETF already out there. A lot of money starting to flood into this space. May not really get us a chance to see much of a floor. Do you really think we got a shot at testing the low 30s again, or do you think the high 40s are all we're going to see?
It's really difficult to say just because there's so many big corporations, institutions, getting this Bitcoin, and they know it's store value. They know to just hold it.
Yeah.
And because of that, my dream, and I even told this on Piper Academy, that my dream is for it to come down to 31. Do I think it will? Probably not, but hopefully the lowest it goes to 31. There's some that are saying 49, no, not 49, 39 I think it was. But it's really hard to say. But this is what I was saying last time too. In 2021, everybody's talking about the super cycle, and you have all these crypto.com. They bought the arena, they renamed it crypto.com. You had FTX, you had all the athletes, you had superstars, you had everybody talking about crypto. And because of that, we're thinking, oh, super cycle. Like there's so much more money coming into the market. And then what happened? Come down. So yeah, as far as more money coming in, do I think that it's gonna slow down what hopefully could happen? I mean, there's always a chance. And I mean, I would say more yes than no as far as coming to the 40s. But once again, I got tricked once. Fool me once, shame on me, or whatever the saying is. But I'm hoping minimum 36.
36. So, Joe, let me ask you a question. Here's my thinking: is I've kind of been a proponent of the fact that I think this cycle is going to be different. So I'm curious, so in the past bull runs that we've had, 2013, 2017, 2021, we've never had the big boys here. This is our sandbox. It was a sandbox of the geeks and the nerds, and we got to play, and we didn't have to worry about the big boys, the ones who know how to manipulate markets and take control of it. The reality is this is their sandbox now. They came in, they confiscated this son of a bitch, they made it bigger, and now it's theirs, and you guys get to play in the corner. So, we're still in it, right? We got the front run them, but it's like no, it's our sandbox now. It's like you guys can play, but it's ours. And so my thinking is, or I think, because of the fact that you now, for the first time ever in the history of BTC, it is now legitimized. It actually has a real sanctioned, SEC approved product, the Bitcoin ETF, which brings legitimization to the space, because crypto and Bitcoin are kind of synonymous right now, right? If you listen to people, they kind of, even though it's not completely different, there is a lot of this combination. So my thinking and my question to you is, do you agree or do you see it different? Do you think it's just going to be business as usual, same old 4-year bull cycle, on, off, we're done? Or is it a whole different game now that the big boys are here?
Honestly, I do think it's a whole different game. But like I said, I got tricked once already. So I'm just doing it level by level. But I mean, what you're saying is absolutely 100% true. But this is the same thing I thought last time. However, though, we didn't have like the really, really big boys, playing the game. We had a bunch of very popular, a lot of influence, but it was a whole bunch of little money compared to, all the big money. So, but I just know though that when in the end of this bull cycle, I'm not going to listen to anybody saying extended bull market. That's one thing I do know for sure is I'm not going to listen to anybody say that.
Yeah, I got.
But no, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, the big money is here, and they're going to continue to get in our sandbox. So
they want all our Bitcoin.
They do.
Yeah. Well, listen, they got most of it. the crumbs we're going to be able to buy and afford, we're going to be able to get anyway, in my opinion, because we're not looking for the big amounts. So I think for us, it's going to be fine. If you want to buy Bitcoin, you can. I'm just kind of playing a little greedy, and I want to try to get it. Like, I know you can't buy the bottom, right? And that's okay. But if we get it, I'm starting to think, Joe, after watching your analysis, if we just get into even the high 30s, I'm buying. I'm not even waiting for a little bit. I'm going to start going in and pull a little bit of crumbs out of the and put some more of this horse in my stable, because I really, really think Bitcoin is going to be something that the big boys have latched onto. I mean, listen, you've seen the biggest WWE heel flips. You had Larry Fink, who's hated it, said it was the worst thing. It's a crime. It's criminal. And now he's like, oh my God, it's safety. It's, this is the thing you got to be invested in. It's just like gold. You had Yellen coming out saying this is for nefarious activity. And now she's begging Congress to create regulation. I mean, the WWE heel flips are happening all over the place in this space, right? So it's only a matter of time. And here's the biggest news. I don't know if you know these facts. BlackRock went and bought a bunch of the miners back last year in the March, May, June timeframe. And what did they do 1 month after they invested a shit ton in them? They filed for a Bitcoin ETF. What does that tell you?
Yep.
Yeah, watch what they do, not what they say, right?
Yes,
so
Jen.
On the topic, we have a couple questions then too for Trade Intuition, but just on that topic of what you said, Johnny, real quick, I thought this was interesting. We know that Warren Buffett was anti-crypto, right? And I mean, he still hasn't publicly said that he likes Bitcoin yet, but one of Berkshire Hathaway's top returning investments, actually, like their top performing, that they had initially put in $500 million. Buffett's strong anti-crypto stance may change after reviewing the firm's performance in 2023. The top performing investment in 2023 for Berkshire Hathaway was a Brazilian fintech company, New Holdings Limited. The company owns Nubank, a neobank that offers credit cards and banking as well as crypto trading for users, guys, and it offers 15 different tokens. So then they increased their stakes in the company, add another $500 million to this, and Buffett has not sold his investment in New Holdings yet, potentially implying that he is bullish on the stock for months or years to come. So crypto is on his radar, and he is invested in it. So I just thought that was kind of cool to share that, because, when we see these powerhouses, right, that are in TradFi that people really respect, I mean, that's an eye opener for them as well. Any thoughts on that?
No, it's a huge eye opener, really. Like somebody that big, and that it's just going to have more. Like he's a huge influence on the market in general. So if he says something like everybody's going to jump on that bandwagon if they haven't already. You know, if they haven't already been thinking about it, that might be the catalyst that's going to push them over the edge and be like, okay, let me take up this corner of the sandbox. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And hey, Snoop he has a question for you, Joe. He said that he wanted to know how you got into crypto. He kind of missed some of that and that we hopped right into charting, if you don't mind.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I got into crypto. A friend told me about it, and when they told me about it, I was at first, no, it's okay. Then later on, another friend told me about it, and I did my research, and then sure enough, it's like, okay, this looks like it can change the world. And I started watching YouTube and seeing everybody, making all this money, and I got in, and I loved it too. I have a question for y'all, for both of y'all, if you don't mind. What was your first moon coin? Or not your first moon coin. What was your biggest moon coin? What was your biggest?
Go
Like,
ahead,
you don't have
Jay.
to give like the dollar amount, but just like, what was it?
For me, believe it or not, it was Axie, AXS, Axie Infinity.
Wow.
I remember buying that thing for around about $1. And one day I'm looking and it's about $145. That thing did a 145x.
Wow.
And I was like, holy shit, you could really make a shit ton of money in crypto. So that was probably my biggest one. And then my second biggest one was Mana, because I remember buying that around 11 cents. And one day I'm in the store and my buddy Mario sends me a text and says, Johnny, look at Mana. And I look at it and it's at $5. And I'm like, holy shit.
Jeez.
And God bless his soul. Thank God he did that, because I would have missed it. By the time I got home 30 minutes later, it was down to $3. But, crypto can really, and this is why we invented Merlin. I hate to roll into this, but it's a perfect segue. When you think about it, when you're in crypto, it moves so fast that if you don't have something that's alerting you and telling you like, hey, time to go sell or time to go look into it, you really can miss a significant amount of profit in this space. And so, we invented, I don't know if you've heard of it, but we invented Merlin, which is an app that kind of brings all our crypto in one place. But more importantly, you can create an exit strategy so you can actually get alerts when price targets are reached.
That's huge.
Yes.
That's a game changer, big time.
Yes. It is a game changer. We're excited about it. We're excited to say Jenna's a partner with us on this app. She's one of our partners. And the reason why we did it, Joe, is because we wanted to help the community, because when you're in this space, man, if you're, here's the problem. Ask anybody who doesn't have a crypto tracker. You're looking at your phone 20 times a day. And I thought I was a nut job and I was the only one doing it. And as I was talking and interviewing people, customers, they're like, oh no, I look at my phone 20 times a day easily in the bull run. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm not that much of a lunatic after all. And then we're like, okay, we could solve that now. Now I look at my phone once a day. I don't have to, right? I got my app, it's running. It just sends me alerts when I need it, and then I go sell when it does me. And it's so much.
Yeah, that's a game changer right there. Those alerts, man.
Guys, link below. 30-day free trial. The link is posted below. Try out Merlin. If you haven't, you need it. Johnny K just popped something up here. And hey, so my first token that mooned on me was summer 2021, and it was SHX. And then after it bottomed out, I bought that bottom, baby, and it mooned again. So I think I made like a 22x. I started to take partial profits on it, and then I traded it a little bit. But yeah, so that one has done extremely well, and people overlook these stellar tokens. A lot of them are absolute garbage, by the way. But the next one, I had this one before, and I don't have it now, and I'm actually going to get it after the show because I see it's already starting to pop up. It has the same potential, in my opinion, as SHX did. I'm not paid to shill this or anything like that, guys, but people ask all the time, so I've got to go back to my Lobster wallet. But Aquarius Aqua, and I know that people get rewards for staking, but I just saw it's starting to pop back up again, has that super small market cap of 26 million, has absolute X potential. So as soon as XRP Army starts finding out about this, they already loved SHX, that they're into the XLM, the stellar ecosystem as well. This baby is going to pump too. So My personal, I mean, low market caps like that. And I love to buy things below a penny, but if I can get 0.001 and this just goes back up to the 0.005, that's an easy, like almost 4x. What? That's great. I'm down with that. So those are just my little gems. But Johnny, I see something just popped up here.
Yes, there it is. Just to give people a glance of what Merlin is. Jenna, as you talked about, and Joe, you can kind of get a sense. We bring all the coins in one place so you can actually see all your coins. You can see your daily gains and losses. You can click on it and sort by them, or what you can see what your price paid. And more importantly is you can actually click on any one of them and you can actually create an exit strategy. And creating an exit strategy, we already created one here, already shows you what your exit plan is, what price targets you picked, how many coins you got to sell at each one, and what you even owe Uncle Sam from a tax estimates perspective, what your total gain is and what you'd have to set aside from that gain to pay Uncle Sam. So we tried to make.
You thought of everything. You thought of everything on this.
Yeah, we did.
The taxes. That's the last thing people even either talk about or even want to think about. And wow, that's so the API is connected to the exchange, or how does that work?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. You basically just click on add assets, and we have multiple ways you can add. You can connect your wallets or exchanges automatically. Dude. Just check this out. You click this here, and it'll connect to our wallets. We have about 20 exchanges and wallets in here that you can connect to automatically. So you'll see them here. They're all in here. All the basic common ones, right? Uphold, Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, BitTrue, all those, and all the main wallets, Ledger and all that, Coinbase Wallet, Treasure. And you can, just put in your information. It links in, and it automatically syncs with your account. And basically, from that perspective, you don't have to do anything. It'll just track what you're doing, buys and sells, and report those. And then there are obviously coins and wallets and exchanges we don't have. And the great thing about that is we have a manual tool, and you literally just enter in the symbol, enter in the quantity, where you bought it, what exchange, the price, and the date, hit save, and boom, and it automatically. We got it all covered, Joe. We got you covered, baby.
You got it. You definitely have it all covered. And guys, the link's in the description. Definitely check it out. That's crazy. Once you said the taxes, it's like, okay, they thought of everything.
Wow. Yeah, and the best part, free 30 days. Click on Jenna's link below in the show. You get a free 30 days to try it out. And yes, you got to put a credit card in, but we made it simple, Joe. One click, in-app, cancel if you don't want to use it. Very, very simple. And basically, the coolest thing about our app is we don't own your keys. We don't own your coins. We have no trading capabilities. We just display. We're read-only, so there's zero risk.
Right.
Like, people are worried about their stuff getting hacked.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The great thing is if Merlin gets hacked, the worst case is, okay, people can see what you got. But that's it. They can't steal your coins.
Right. Yeah.
They can't move them. They can't touch them. They absolutely, you're just sitting here like, okay, this is boring. I can't do anything because I'm here, but I can't do anything because nothing's in there.
Hey, Johnny, question in there. How does the program get XRPL coins and pricing?
Yeah, so basically, you would either connect your exchange or wallet to it as we just displayed, Jenna. And then if your coins are on, whatever exchange or wallet you have, your XRP coins, those coins will show up right here in Merlin, or you can enter them manually as well. In terms of pricing, we have a monthly subscription plan and we have an annual subscription plan. It's $18.88 for the monthly, or if you do the one-time annual, it's discounted for $200 a month, and that comes, or $200 a year, sorry, and that equates to about $16.99 a month. So a couple different options for people depending on what they want, but we're making sure we're providing value, because I'll tell you what, for a lousy $18 a month, it's so priceless to have those alerts, because like I said, I was in the store, and within 30 minutes from the time I got that message from Mario to the time I got home, the price had dropped from $5 to $3. I would have lost $2 a coin. $2 a coin if I didn't have that alert. So think of how important it is for a small price to pay. You get that crucial alert right when you need it, so you can go and sell and capitalize on your profits.
Wow. Hey, Johnny, what happens if you have a ton of airdrops for a coin that is not on exchanges or whatnot?
Yeah, so if it's not on exchanges or wallets, unfortunately, you're going to have to add it manually. I have to do it. I have nodes, gaming nodes. So what I do is They give me drops every single day, but what I do is once a week or once every 2 weeks, I just add it as a bulk. I'll say, okay, I'm making this up. Let's say I got 20,000 coins. I'll just say, okay, 20,000 coins. I'll put an average price of whatever the price was over the past week, and that's it. I drop it in there, and that's how I do it. So you have to manage those manually if it's not connected to a wallet that we have that has auto sync. But at least there's still a way where you can capture it and see what your total portfolio is and what it's doing.
Johnny, this next question for you from Steven. Can you see which wallet you have on Merlin?
Steven, check this out. You just come up to exchanges, you click this, and this shows you all the ones I have connected. So you can see here, I've got an Exodus wallet, an Uphold wallet. I got my Ledger, all these. Now, this is a demo account, guys, so don't go. You have to go. This is not my real account. But yes, this screen here shows you all the different wallets or exchanges you have connected. And then if you click on one, for example, let's say I just click on this one, it'll actually then show me what I have in that one. Or so I can go to any one of these and I can just click on these and be able to see what I have happening in there. So for example, if I want to click on, let's click on here, Exodus. You can click on any one of these and then it will show you what is in that portfolio or in this. So in this case, I have nothing on that one. Probably one that I had removed. So yeah, so basically that's how you would do it. You would basically be able to go through all of your exchanges and wallets to be able to see whichever one you want to see.
That is truly amazing. You literally have thought of everything on here. And even if the coins aren't even there, you can manually put them in, which that was going to be my next question. I was like, well, because there's a lot of times where the coins, they're not, you can't put them in for whatever reason. But wow, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. And 30 days free, huh?
Yeah. 30 days free. Come try it out, Joe. Let us know what you think. And
definitely.
We'd love for you to try it out as well and see if it helps you. Because again, we're just trying to help the community. We know that
the biggest thing, I'm sorry to interrupt you. The biggest thing for me is when you said the alerts. Because just like how you said, if the coin is dropping, or even if the coin is pumping, like you can get these alerts. And then that way you know when to sell. Because if you're at work or if you're asleep or whatever the fact is, you can miss it completely. And what's even worse is, like, if you would just have something that could alert you, there it is. Boom. And how much you say it was a month after the fact?
It's $18.88 a month, or if you go with the annual plan.
You know what? Up the price. $49.99 minimum.
We had a lot of people saying,
jump on this, 30 days free, links in the description, 30, and then after that, 18, that's under $20. You spend $20 just getting Starbucks for the week, 2 drinks, 3 drinks, whatever it is. So that's a great deal. I love it. I love it.
If you have your crypto scattered everywhere, like most of us do, because you have to get a different wallet for every single little thing, it's so much to keep track of. And, updating Excel sheets and everything like that, they're a pain in the butt. And then you have to, you can't set an alert on an Excel sheet. So this is perfect. I definitely think that I agree with Joe. You've thought of literally everything, Johnny.
Yep.
XRP Refugee asked, what is the little red symbol next to the coin for?
Oh, you got a keen eye, XRP Refugee. Good for you. So the red dot indicates that there's some kind of error, meaning a missing transaction or a missing price. What happens is sometimes when you move a coin from one exchange to another, your buy transactions are lost, unfortunately. And so at Merlin, what we tried to do, because they're just not there, we can't get them through the API, we tried to indicate to the user, like, hey, there's something wrong here. Click on that. And then at the top, we show you the error message. And that allows them or lets them know that they have to go in and either add the transaction that may be missing, or so you'll see, or it wasn't maybe last updated if there was an update issue. In this particular case, last updated February 6th. So that means you have to go and sometimes the connection will get dropped. So you want to go in and redrop it. If it's a manual connection, then obviously the red dot, we're going to fix that. That shouldn't even be there. So that's, there's always bugs. You're working on improvements over time. But yeah, that is primarily to let you know, to indicate that something may be missing, or it's, you may have to reconnect your exchange. And what we've done is if those coins are missing and you don't know your average cost, we've created these tools in Merlin that makes it so simple for you to override and create. For example, let's see, do I have any? No, I don't. Oh yeah, here's one. So here's one that shows an average price of 0. So I can literally just click on it, and you'll notice here it's telling me that I have I'm missing a transaction. So I don't have any transactions. So Merlin doesn't know what I paid for it. But most of us know what we paid for our coin. So you can just go to edit coin. You can go in here to override the cost basis. And let's say I paid $54 for my quant, because I know I paid somewhere in that range for it. $54. I hit save. And boom, now I don't have to go crazy of adding in all the transactions. I will go back to the asset page. And if you remember, before it showed my average cost was 0. Now you're going to see here it's showing, see that? Now it's showing $54. So we really, truly have thought of everything to make people's lives simple. That's really what we're trying to do here, is bring it all in one place, make it simple, give you peace of mind, and get those alerts so you can know when the hell to get the hell out, because you got to have an exit plan, Joe. As you were talking about in trading, you got to sell, because nothing just ever goes up over time, right?
Mm-hmm. Very true.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, Johnny, I saw you post about Filecoin and Solana partnership. Do you have any more info on that?
Oh my God, that's huge. So, Solana, as they're trying to continue to remain very decentralized, right? And one of the biggest competitors, Ethereum, as they were looking for ways to handle storage, they've decided to partner with Filecoin. All those who might not know what Filecoin is, File is all about decentralized storage. So, I love how you're seeing as they're building these stacks, these layers on top of layers to build a total solution. You're seeing the partnership between Solana, which we know is huge. There is just a ton of support and money behind Solana, that it's going to get a strong push in the next bull run. And to see them partner with File, which I've always thought File would be one of the base, as you build a payment system, or thank you, Stevan, love you too, brother. As you build a system, we've always felt, Joe, that there's not going to be one blockchain solution that does it all. Right. It's going to be a combination of a bunch of different blockchains built together on top of a stack that's going to ultimately enable adoption and enable these solutions to come through fruition. Well, seeing Solana partner with File, that's a very, very strong situation. Now you've got smart contracts in a wide marketplace and a whole entirely decentralized storage facility. It's true decentralization. So, whereas Ethereum claims to be decentralized, we know, according to Hinman, it's sufficiently decentralized. Nobody in the world even knows what that means today. But this truly is real decentralization. So I'm happy to see that partnership, Jenna. I love both of these tokens. I've got them both in my bags. These are two horses I want in my stable during the next bull run.
I love them too. I love Filecoin. I hold it. I thought it'd be pumping a little bit more than what it is, but I know it will be worth it. But I just like it. I believe in it. It's been around. I think it's an oldie but goodie. So it is one of my few hodls. So I like that. And I like trading it. Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate you filling us in on that.
I'll tell you what, you would think like Solana came back from the dead, right? After FTX killed it, as they blew up, Solana came down, and we saw the bottom, $8. Hopefully someone was grabbed there. And if you didn't, which most people didn't except the elites, then you saw this monster rebound. And that was confirmation for me that this thing's here to stay. I don't think Solana's going anywhere. It doesn't even matter if they have crashes. I know that at the end of the day, and I agree with Joe, I think File is a great company. It's one of my bigger bag holdings. I really like File in the long run, because if you think about it, right now, these cloud systems, it's 2 or 3 cloud systems own everything. You got AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud owning all this stuff, right, Joe? It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
3 companies, on all the cloud space. So it's refreshing to know, hey, there's things like File and storage and Sia Coin and these other places that are coming out now that are actually helping to build the decentralized storage options. I'm very, very excited about that.
There was something, and I forget, interplanetary file system, basically, that Filecoin was working on, and it's all of this crazy stuff. And of course, not that World Economic Forum gets along with me. They have me blocked like, which actually I find is a huge accomplishment. But anyway, I watch what they do, and they're big supporters of Filecoin as well. And my 3-letter friend, Johnny, you'll get a kick out of this, once told me that Filecoin was actually Codius, the all-knowing, all-seeing eye. And we did go down a rabbit hole with that. And I forget a couple people that we actually found that had all these crazy ties, but I don't want to even go any further down that. And my tinfoil hat, I love to speculate. I love speculating. Didn't work out so well this far with XRP, but I still remain optimistic. And that's why I've learned to trade. So
while you're holding on to XRP, there's nothing wrong with trading on the side. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Jenna, somebody taught me the other day, they're like, Johnny, you know what? If there's one thing XRP taught me, it's patience. I'm like, yeah, you ain't kidding. You need to be patient to be an XRP holder. It really is true. And what we're all learning is XRP is not a security. You know why, Jenna? Because I've started to learn because XRP is a stable coin.
Johnny, this was, and didn't the World Bank or somebody put out an article about that? And I'm like, stop it. Well, I wouldn't mind it being a stable coin at what, the $10,000 prediction. I'll take that. All right, guys.
Oh my gosh.
None of this is financial advice. And Joe's about to fall out of his seat and have a heart attack right now. He said, don't do this to me. We know. Hey, JTXRP, I saw your comment out there about trading strategies. Joe talked about his top 5 that are like the easiest things. I highly recommend going back, watching the beginning of this video, because he broke down a couple charts of BLZ and AGIX and really simplified and showed exactly what he looks for and how he back tests and everything, and highly recommend watching that. Hey, Joe, can you tell everybody where to find you? I do have your links posted below.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, all the links are below. Make sure to get that 30-day free for the app, which is amazing. But my link's below, and it's real simple. Trade Intuition. You can follow me on Twitter, especially. And then for YouTube, it's Twitter-Intuition. Long story, I had another YouTube channel with Trade Intuition, but I was forced to close it, forced to cancel it. So now it's Trade-Intuition. But yeah, you can follow me there. And that's what I do all the time. I just give you my whole entire thought process on why I do what I do in the most simplistic form, without all the pattern memorization or the ABCs. It's just support, resistance, trend lines. That's it.
And absolutely. And yes, Snoop, none of this is financial advice. Good disclaimer there. Always do your own research. We are here for educational and entertainment purposes only. All right, guys. So we've been on for a while. I'm going to give you both the floor. I'm going to start with Johnny with any closing thoughts that you have, and then I'm going to kick it over to you, Joe.
Yeah, I just want to say, Jenna, thanks for having me on. Sorry to interrupt you guys. I just saw you guys. I was like, oh, it'd be great to meet you, Joe. Love what you were showing here and teaching. And I think a lot of really good advice for people if they want to trade in this space, to learn how to do it properly and responsibly. So thank you for sharing that. It was awesome. And Jenna, thanks for having me on. It's awesome to be here with you. I missed you.
Yeah, I missed you too. You never interrupt, Johnny. Like, I always want you to come pop on and hang out. You need to get over here more often. So I'm super happy that you popped on. You broke down Merlin too. I think it's a great tool for everyone. And if you have not tried it yet, free for 30 days. And it's super simple. If you decide you don't want to, you literally have to click one button. What are you even doing with your life? Are you even serious about crypto? You jabronis. Okay. Joe, any closing thoughts you have for us?
Yeah, just let you know, of course, the successful traders, they give this advice. They know when not to trade. So don't feel like you always have to be in a trade. There are times where the market it's down, it's just ugly, it's really choppy. You don't force the trades. Let the trades come to you. Set alerts. Depending on how you're trading, also set stop losses. We've talked about it earlier, but it all depends on your style of trading, how you're trading, whether it's short-term or long-term investments. So the whole bunch of stuff comes involved in trading, but you're the right place. We're here to teach you, and that's all I got. Just don't feel that you have to be in a trade all the time.
Oh, I have a last question. Advice for trading on holidays, because tomorrow is President's Day, I do believe. So
Nice.
Do you trade holidays? Is there anything we should watch out for?
I trade all the time. I trade at 3 a.m. I trade on holidays. I trade because, again, price action. That tells me if it's good or not. There's a lot of people that don't trade on holidays or before 9 o'clock, or they trade in between the stock hour times. Man, I trade at 3 in the morning, so I just make my money.
And there you have it, guys. All right, smash that like on the way out. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you so much, Johnny. Peace out, guys. We love you.